Welcome to Astrology, and today we're going to get into the exploration of Pistol Pete and his astrology. So let's get into it. But before we start, I want to congratulate the New York Liberty for making their first championship in 28 years and here in the state of New York, and for the people of New York City. It was extremely exciting to watch the game and to see how everything played out, and now to see that New York is leading in this sport. I give congratulations to the pivotal moments that the WNBA and sports in New York is in right now. It is amazing how much we've broken through, we've broken record, and I can't wait to see the evolution of such a beautiful sport and such a passionate one at best. And in lieu of all these great achievements that we had so far in the world of sports, I was requested to do this video to go into the chart of Pete Maravich, also known professionally as Pistol Pete. He was a professional basketball player, and he had about a 10-year career in which started in 1970s and ended around 1980s. He was known for his long-range shooting and pistol-like style of passing the ball and to his teammates, which dazzled his fans with his creative passing. And in a video highlight, they mentioned that he was like a dribbling magician. So that's how much he put out there when he was playing on the court. And I'm going to add from my own personal kind of perspective here that he was really flexing on his exes with his 3-pointers in the game, which were even incorporated into the game of basketball until later on. He was really playing ahead of his time. And in today's basketball, he would have broken record, but also there would have been approximate about 12 or more 3-pointers that he would have been able to modern world of basketball, and how much basketball has evolved from the 70s to now in 2024. That he's a Cancer sun, and he has the moon possibly in Leo or Virgo. Dynamic ways of being, his initiation in the world of like the ground for the players of today. And we kind of have to always go back when we think about achievements, like give acknowledgement to the leaders that paved the way for basketball, whether it was WNBA, the NBA, baseball, basketball, volleyball, whatever it is. It's important to always go back to these moments in history. And to get into more of the facts, so he played for about 3 different basketball teams throughout his career. In about 1970, he was drafted into Atlanta Hawks, and then he went on to play for the Jazz, and then eventually he went to the Boston Celtics, which by the end of his career, he was in between both teams. The late 1980s, he was becoming more injured and experiencing more injuries from the game, so he decided to retire around that time. And then during that retirement period, he did go recluse, from what I'm reading from the text, that he was recluse about for 2 years. And in that period of time, he was really trying to look at the meaning of life and discover that for himself. In addition to this aspect of needing to look into his life, I want to dive into like just him when he was playing this game right before, like way before he was in this phase of retirement, because I'm going a little bit forward and back to look at him and analyze and understand the story that Pete brought into the world. So we know that it was a Cancer sun, and then this possibility that his moon was in Leo or Virgo. So already off the bat, there is this dynamic and inspiring energy that he brought in to the game, to the court, connecting himself deeply with basketball and translating that inspiration and that dynamic energy through his boldness that came through and really showed up in his game, but also could have possibly showed up in his life in different ways. His passion, and we're going to get more into this, the showman of him fuels his fire. And he could have been quite unpredictable because the way he was shooting, passing the ball, the pistol type of style, it is unpredictable. So he brought in the unpredictable steps into the game. Though he didn't win a championship, from my understanding, he did play like a star, like a entertainment person, and we're gonna get in that part of that other a subcategory of showmanship that he showed up. As I decided to explore Pete's chart, one question came up through a conversation that I had about Pistol Pete's real love and passion for basketball. Was it more him as a showman, or was it more of him as a player? Because he didn't, again, I mentioned he didn't win any championships, so that was a big conflicting question that came up in this and I feel that this quote that I'm about to read really sums up his attitude towards his game. Shooting is nothing. Anyone can shoot. The big charge is putting on a show for the crowd. So the question here is, right, was he into being a showman? And absolutely he was. And this shows up in his son being in Cancer, like being this person where he can evoke these kinds of emotions in people, being entertainment, almost being this person that can get in and out of things, that can show up as unpredictable for the crowd. And this is what egged him on in the game, that really inspired him. I mean, he's been associated with creative offensiveness. He's been associated with overall a magician, again, a dribbling magician. So these are aspects of entertainment that he presented here. And this could show up in his moon, possibly in Leo. Another category that I want to dive a little bit into here is about meaning of life. So throughout the literature I was reading, it seemed like Pistol Pete was questioning life, especially in those years that he was retired. He went recluse. He did end up practicing different kind of Eastern spiritual practices, yoga, and really exploring the spiritual world in his own terms. And from what I was also reading about him, he mentioned that his life was his basketball career, and that he didn't really get to find out the true meaning of his life. And this is interesting, being that he was such a captivating player. And that proves by a quote that he says here, "My life had no meaning." And this goes again with the time that he was reflecting on his career taking over and consuming his personal life. Something else that came up as well was he would talk about his death. So it was a little bit morbid, where he would say that he will one day die in the court at 40 years old. And it happened. And there's so much more that can talk about that, but I'm going to keep it to that. Thank you for watching Sabor Astrology con mucho, mucho sabor. Goodbye.